The spaceship moved quietly through the darkness of space. Ambassador Marcus Webb stood at the big window, watching the alien space station grow bigger as they got closer. His hands shook a little with excitement and fear. This was the day humans would meet aliens for the first time. Captain Liu walked over to him. "Are you ready for this?" she asked. "As ready as anyone can be," Marcus replied. 3 years of planning, and now we're finally here. The alien station was huge and strange. It had odd shapes that hurt to look at, and it was covered in what looked like crystal. The aliens called themselves the Alterians, and they had been very careful about this meeting. They had sent many messages about what the humans could and could not bring to the meeting. "They're asking again about water," Liu said, reading from her tablet. "They want to make sure we have no water anywhere near the meeting room," Marcus nodded. The aliens had been very worried about water. They had made the humans promise over and over that no water would be in the meeting area. It seemed strange. But Marcus knew that being respectful was important for making friends with new people. "All water systems are turned off in that part of the ship," Liu said. "The air is completely dry, just like they wanted." The docking bay doors opened with a soft sound. 3 tall figures walked out of the alien ship. They were beautiful and scary at the same time. Their skin looked like living crystal that changed colors from blue to purple. They moved carefully, like they were afraid of something. Each alien wore a special suit, even though the air was safe for them to breathe. Marcus thought this was odd, but he did not want to be rude by asking about it. The lead alien walked forward. When he spoke, a machine changed his words into English. "Hello, humans from Earth. I am Ambassador Keth. We come in peace. Welcome to our ship," Marcus said. He held out his hand to shake, which is what humans do when they meet someone new. The alien jumped back like Marcus had tried to hit him. His crystal skin turned dark. "I am sorry, but we cannot touch you. Your bodies are dangerous to us." Double quotes. Marcus put his hand down. He felt embarrassed and confused. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you." "It is not your fault," Keth said. His voice was kind but worried. "Your species is made of things that can hurt us. We must stay away from you to be safe." They walked to the meeting room. Marcus noticed that the aliens stayed far away from the humans. When one of the other aliens whispered something, the machine translated words like water content and very dangerous. Marcus felt worried. What was so dangerous about humans? In the meeting room, both sides sat down to talk. The aliens told them about their people who lived on many planets that were very dry. They had no water on their worlds, and they thought water was the most dangerous thing in the universe. "Your species is very strange to us," Keth said. "You live on a planet where the death liquid falls from the sky. Most of your world is covered in it. We do not understand how you can survive." "Death liquid?" Marcus asked. "What do you mean?" "Water," Keth said. "The liquid that destroys everything it touches. It breaks down our bodies if we touch even a tiny bit. We have never met anyone who can live near it." The human team looked at each other with surprise. Marcus had never thought of water as dangerous. Humans needed water to live. They drank it every day, they washed with it, they swam in it for fun. "We need water to live," Marcus said carefully. "Our bodies are mostly made of water." The aliens moved back in their chairs. Their crystal skin flashed bright colors. One of them made a sound like a scared animal. "Impossible," Keth whispered. "Nothing can be made of the death liquid and still live." "But we are," Marcus said. "We drink water every day. We bathe in it, our children play in it." The room was very quiet. Marcus could see that the aliens were scared and amazed at the same time. They looked at the humans like they were looking at monsters or gods. "Your people have heard of us before?" Marcus asked. "Yes," Keth said. "Stories travel between the stars. We have heard tales of the water walkers of Earth. Many people thought the stories were lies. No one believed that any creature could touch water and live." "But you believe it now?" "We have to," Keth said. "You are here, alive, after traveling through space in a ship that must have water in it. You breathe air that has water in it. You are living proof that the impossible can be real." Marcus began to understand. To these aliens, humans were like creatures that could swim in acid or walk through fire. What seemed normal to humans was magic to them. There are others who want to meet you, Keth said. Other species who have heard the stories. They want to see the water walkers with their own eyes. What kind of others? Species from across the galaxy. Some are curious like us, others are afraid, and some, Keth paused. Some think you might be too dangerous to let live. Marcus felt cold. Dangerous? We're not dangerous. We just want to make friends. A species that can survive in the death liquid might be able to survive anywhere, Keth said. That makes you very powerful. Power makes some people afraid. The meeting ended with both sides agreeing to meet again. But as the aliens left, Marcus heard them talking in their own language. The machine translated words like incredible and impossible, and what else can they do? That night, Marcus sat in his room, drinking a glass of water. Something so simple, so normal, so needed for life. He had never thought about it before. But now he understood that this simple act was something that most of the galaxy saw as impossible. The water tasted the same as always. But now Marcus knew that this simple drink made him special in the eyes of the universe. He was a water walker, a creature of legend, a being who could do the impossible. He wondered what else about being human would seem impossible to aliens. What other normal things would seem like magic to the creatures of the stars? Tomorrow would bring more meetings, more surprises, more chances to learn about the galaxy and their place in it. But tonight, Marcus just sat and drank his water, thinking about how strange and wonderful the universe could be. The next morning brought a strange request. Ambassador Keth had talked to his leaders all night, and they had sent a message. They wanted to see a human touch water with their own eyes. We know this might sound odd, Keth said when they met again. But our leaders find it hard to believe. They think the stories about your people must be lies. They want proof. Marcus thought about this. He knew that showing trust was important when meeting new people. What do you want us to do? We have made a special room, Keth said. It has thick walls of glass so we can watch safely. We want to see one of you touch water, for science. Captain Liu stepped forward. You want us to perform like animals in a zoo? Not animals, Keth said quickly. Heroes, legends, the stories about your people are told in whispers across the galaxy. Some people refuse to believe them, others ... He stopped, and his crystal skin turned darker. Others are afraid of what beings who can touch water might do. Marcus understood. How they acted now would decide what the galaxy thought of humans. I'll do it, he said. The test room was amazing. It was made of clear, strong material that let the aliens watch safely from outside. When Marcus went in, he could see all the aliens gathering around the windows. They moved like they were scared and excited at the same time. Inside the room was a simple setup. A bowl, some clean water, and machines to watch what happened. Marcus turned on his radio. What do you want? Me to show you? Start simple, Keth said. His voice sounded like he could not believe what he was asking. Put your hand in the water, Marcus almost laughed. It was such a simple thing. But then he remembered that to these aliens, this was like asking someone to put their hand in fire. He walked to the bowl and slowly put his hand in the clear water. The aliens reacted right away. Several jumped back from the windows. Their crystal bodies flashed with bright colors. One of them made a high, scared sound. Impossible, Keth whispered. Your skin should be dissolving right now. Should I keep going? Marcus asked, moving his hand through the water and making small waves. Yes, Keth said, though his voice shook. Show us more. Marcus cupped water in his hands and poured it over his arms. Then he splashed it on his face. Every time he did something, the aliens gasped and made sounds like they were praying. When he put his whole head under the water and held his breath, for a long time, they all went completely quiet. By the sacred crystals, one of them whispered when Marcus lifted his head. He lives in the death liquid. As Marcus dried himself with a towel, he noticed the aliens had changed. They were still scared, but now they looked at him with deep respect, like he was something holy. Ambassador Marcus, Keth said. Formally, the Altarian people want to invite you somewhere. There are others who must see this. Species who have survived in the hardest places possible, but none who have mastered the universal destroyer like your people. Are you talking about some kind of tour? Captain Liu asked. A summit, Keth said. The Galactic Council has been doubtful about the reports of your species. They think we have been fooled by clever tricks, but what I have seen today, He paused, his body changing colors. This will change everything, Marcus finished drying his hair. What would this summit be like? Representatives from 17 different species, all gathered to see the impossible. Your people walking unharmed through the death liquid, surviving. In a place that would kill most galactic citizens in seconds. Keth sounded more excited now. You must understand, Ambassador, water is not just dangerous to us. It is the fundamental force that breaks down matter in the universe. It destroys things at the smallest level. For a species to not just survive, but thrive in its presence. Makes us what? Marcus asked, though he was starting to guess the answer. Makes you the strongest species the galaxy has ever known, another alien answered. And maybe the most dangerous. The room went quiet as everyone thought about what this meant. Marcus realized that humans being able to drink water and take baths had made them seem like superheroes to the rest of the galaxy. The summit would be on a neutral station, Keth continued. Representatives from species across the galaxy would come to witness your abilities. Some are curious, some are afraid, and some want to understand how such a thing is possible. And if we refuse, Marcus asked, then the galaxy will always wonder if the stories are true, Keth said. Some will think we are lying. Others will think humans are hiding something. Fear of the unknown often leads to bad decisions. Marcus understood. If humans refuse to show their abilities, the galaxy might see them as a threat hiding in the shadows. But if they agreed to the summit, they would be putting themselves on display for everyone to see. What do you think? He asked Captain Liu. I think we don't have much choice, she said. If we want to be part of the galactic community, we need to show them who we are. There's something else, Keth said. The stories about your people have spread faster than we expected. Some species are calling you the Water Walkers, others call you the children of the death liquid. You have become famous across the galaxy before you even knew there was a galaxy to be famous in. Marcus felt the weight of responsibility. Humanity had been hoping to quietly join the galactic community, but instead they had become the main attraction. Every decision they made now would affect how the galaxy saw all humans. If we agree to this summit, Marcus said, what happens after? That depends on what the other species decide, Keth said. Some will want to be your allies. Others might see you as a threat, and some ... He paused. Some might want to study you to learn your secrets. The room was quiet as Marcus thought. Through the glass walls, he could see the aliens still watching him with amazement. A simple demonstration of drinking water had turned into something much bigger. We need to talk to our leaders on Earth, Marcus said finally. Of course, Keth. Agreed, but know this. The galaxy is watching now. The Water Walkers of Earth have been revealed. There's no going back to being unknown. As they left the test room, Marcus realized that humanity's relationship with the galaxy had just become much more complicated. They were no longer just another species seeking friendship. They were the impossible made real, the legends come to life. The beings who could do what everyone else thought was impossible. The question now was whether the galaxy would welcome them or fear them. The space station called Convergence was unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. It was built by 17 different alien species working together, and each part was made for different kinds of life. As their ship got closer, Marcus could see sections with different atmospheres, different gravity, and special areas for aliens who could not safely be near each other. Are you nervous? Captain Liu asked as they prepared to dock. Terrified, Marcus admitted. We're about to be the star of the greatest show in the galaxy. The past few weeks had been crazy. Word about the human demonstrations had spread through alien communication networks very fast. Species that had kept to themselves for hundreds of years suddenly wanted to see the Water Walkers of Earth, The Alterians found themselves in the strange position of introducing humanity to the galactic community. Their docking bay was in the center of the station, where the air was kept at a standard that most species could breathe. When they got off their ship, Marcus noticed subtle changes that had been made for them. There were drains in the floors, waterproof barriers, and what looked like emergency isolation systems. Ambassador Keth met them at the door, his crystal body was cycling through colors that Marcus had learned meant he was excited but worried. "Welcome to Convergence, Ambassador Marcus. I must warn you that the reaction has been intense." "What do you mean?" "3 species have asked to watch from sealed rooms only. 2 have demanded independent proof that your demonstrations are not technology tricks, and 1—" Keth paused, his colors shifting to darker shades. "1 has suggested that your species might be too dangerous to allow into the galactic community." Before Marcus could answer, a new voice spoke. "Dangerous? They are the most remarkable species I have encountered in 40 years of exploration." The speaker was tall and thin, with skin that looked like living metal. She moved in a flowing, almost hypnotic way, and when she spoke, her voice had musical echoes. "I am Conductor Melody of the Harmonic Collective," she continued. "We have survived by adapting to the sound frequencies of dying stars, yet what your species has done ... She gestured gracefully. "To make a home in the presence of the universal destroyer goes against every law of survival we know." "Thank you," Marcus replied, though he was still getting used to being praised for something as simple as drinking water. They walked through the station's corridors, past windows that showed glimpses of the other delegations. Marcus saw beings made of light, creatures that seemed to be made of gas, and species so alien that his eyes could not quite understand their shapes. "The demonstrations will be in the main theater," Keth explained. "We have prepared a complete environment with different types of water in different concentrations. The Council wants to understand the full extent of your abilities." They entered a huge chamber with seating that rose up in all directions. The center had what could only be called a water obstacle course. There were pools of different depths, waterfalls, and structures that would require swimming through and around large amounts of water. "This is impressive," Marcus said, but he was also intimidated. The setup was amazing, but it was also scary. Every seat in the theater was filled with alien observers representing the incredible diversity of galactic life. "The Council will watch from the secured viewing areas," Keth pointed to the upper levels. "But many others have asked to witness your demonstration directly," a new figure approached. This one was humanoid, but with skin that seemed to absorb light instead of reflecting it. "I am Speaker Dark of the Shadow Collective. We exist in the spaces between stars in the cold emptiness where even radiation fears to go. Yet we have heard tales of your species that seem impossible." "What kind of tales?" Marcus asked, though he was beginning to guess. "That you not only survive in the death liquid, but that you use it for fun," Speaker Dark replied. "That your young put themselves in it for play. That you have entire vehicles designed to travel on its surface." Marcus looked at his team, seeing his own understanding reflected in their faces. To species that saw water as a universal destroyer, humanity's relationship with it must seem like mastery over death itself. "The demonstration will begin shortly," Keth announced. "Are you ready?" Marcus looked out at the assembled aliens, noting the mixture of fear, excitement, and doubt in their various forms. "As ready as anyone can be to prove that taking a swim won't kill me." The theater fell silent as the formal announcements began. Representatives from 17 species were about to witness something they had thought impossible. A thinking being not just surviving, but thriving in direct contact with the most dangerous substance in the known universe. Marcus approached the water's edge. The liquid was warm and clear, and as he prepared to dive in, he could feel the intense attention of hundreds of alien eyes watching his every move. He dove cleanly into the pool, and the theater erupted in chaos. Several alien delegations moved back to emergency positions, while others pressed closer to the barriers. Their forms flickered with what Marcus now recognized as intense emotions. "Impossible," breathed a being that appeared to be made of geometric Shapes. The dissolution should be instant. Perhaps they use some form of molecular shielding, suggested another voice. Marcus swam to the surface and floated on his back, waiting for the noise to calm down. Around him, the water obstacle course waited with diving platforms, underwater tunnels, and areas that would require long periods underwater to navigate. Honored delegates, Keth announced, what you have witnessed is just the beginning. The human demonstration will now proceed to more advanced interactions with the death liquid. Marcus began with simple swimming strokes, moving through the water easily. The alien observers fell completely silent, their attention focused entirely on his movements. He dove below the surface, swimming to the bottom of the deep section where he touched the floor before rising again. 22 seconds, announced a mechanical voice. 22 seconds of complete submersion without visible protection. Marcus continued his demonstration, swimming through underwater tunnels, diving from platforms, and navigating the entire obstacle course. With each feat, the alien observers became more amazed and more afraid. How is this possible? Called out a voice from the upper levels. Practice, Marcus replied, floating easily in the deep water. Every human child learns. To swim, it's as natural to us as walking. The theater fell silent again. The idea that humans casually taught their children to do something that would instantly kill most galactic species was beyond their understanding. What are you? Whispered Speaker Dark. We're just humans, Marcus said. We're not special. We're not magical, we just evolved on a planet with lots of water. As he climbed out of the pool, Marcus realized that the demonstration had revealed more than human abilities. It had shown the galaxy that there was a completely different way to exist, a way that they had never imagined possible. The question now was what the galaxy would do with this knowledge. The theater was in chaos as Marcus climbed out of the pool, water dripping from his hair and clothes. Some alien delegations had moved to emergency positions, while others pressed closer to the barriers. Their forms flickered with intense emotions that Marcus was learning to read. Impossible, breathed the being made of connected geometric shapes. The dissolution rate should be instant. Perhaps they use some form of molecular protection, suggested another voice from the Shadow Collective. Section. Marcus stood at the edge of the pool, water still streaming from his body. Around him, the water obstacle course stood ready with diving platforms, underwater tunnels, and areas that would require long periods underwater to navigate. Honored delegates, Ambassador Kef announced. What you have witnessed is just the beginning. The human demonstration will now proceed to more advanced interactions with the death liquid. Marcus began with simple swimming strokes, moving through the water with practiced ease. The alien observers fell silent, their attention completely focused on his movements. He dove beneath the surface, swimming to the bottom of the deep section where he touched the floor before rising again. 25 seconds, announced a mechanical voice from the Silicon Collective. 25 seconds of complete submersion without visible protection. Your species must have developed extraordinary resistance to molecular dissolution, called out conductor melody. What is your secret? Marcus paused in his swimming, floating on his back as he thought about how to answer. We don't have a secret, he said finally. Water isn't poison to us. It's necessary for life. We're made mostly of water ourselves. The theater fell completely silent, made of water. Speaker Dark's voice carried disbelief. You're claiming your cellular structure is composed primarily of the universal destroyer? About 60% of our body weight, Marcus confirmed. We need to drink it regularly to survive. Our world's surface is over 70% water. We evolved in it, around it, from it. The silence stretched for long moments before it was broken by what could only be described as panic. Alien voices rose in dozens of languages and the universal. Translators struggled to keep up with the rapid exchanges. A water-based species, someone whispered. Living destroyer entities, another voice added. No wonder they can survive direct contact. They are the death liquid. Marcus continued his demonstration, but he could sense the shift in the theater's atmosphere. What had begun as curiosity about human toughness had transformed into something else entirely. The aliens weren't just watching a demonstration of survival. They were watching a being composed of the very substance they feared most. As he completed an underwater lap of the pool, Marcus surfaced to find a new figure approaching. The barrier. This being was different from the others. It was ancient, with a form that seemed to shift between different states of matter. "I am Elder Flow of the First Collective," the being announced. "We are among the oldest species in the galaxy present. When the first stars were born, we have witnessed the rise and fall of 10,000 civilizations." Marcus swam to the pool's edge, keeping a respectful distance from the barrier. "Elder Flow." "Never," the ancient being continued, "have we encountered a species that evolved from the fundamental force of dissolution itself, your very existence. Challenges our understanding of how life develops in the universe. Are we really that unusual?" Marcus asked, though he was beginning to understand the answer. "Child of water," Elder Flow replied, "in all our observations across all known space, life flees from the universal destroyer. It builds walls, develops resistances, creates protective measures. Life survives, despite water, not because of it." "But you do," Marcus realized. "You've made water your ally instead of your enemy." "More than that," interrupted a new voice. The speaker was a being of pure energy, crackling with contained lightning. "You've made it your foundation. If the reports are correct, you don't just use water. You are water given form and consciousness." The implications were staggering. Marcus looked around the theater, seeing the assembled aliens with new understanding. These weren't just different species. They were representatives of life forms that had evolved to avoid the very thing that made human life possible. "The question now," Elder Flow continued, "is what this means for the galactic community. A species that has mastered the universal destroyer. What else might they be capable of?" Marcus felt the weight of that question. He was no longer just demonstrating human compatibility with water. He was revealing that humanity represented a completely different approach to existence itself. "What are you asking?" he said carefully. "We're asking," replied Speaker Dark, "whether a species that calls the death liquid home can truly coexist with those of us who flee from it. Whether the water walkers of Earth seek to share the galaxy or reshape it." The theater fell silent again, waiting for Marcus's response. He realized that his next words would determine not just humanity's diplomatic future, but their entire relationship with galactic civilization. "We didn't come here to change anything," Marcus said, his voice carrying clearly through the water. "We came here to learn, to meet our neighbors, to find friends among the stars." "But your very existence changes everything," Elder Flow replied. "You are proof that life can take forms we never imagined. You are living water, thinking water, water that has learned to build ships and explore the stars." "We're not trying to be scary," Marcus said. "We're just trying to be ourselves. And yourselves are the most remarkable and terrifying beings we have ever encountered," Conductor Melody added. "You swim in death and call it refreshing. You are composed of the substance that destroys everything else in the universe." Marcus pulled himself out of the pool and sat on the edge, water still, dripping from his clothes. "I can see how that might be frightening, but we're not here to hurt anyone. We're here because we want to be part of something bigger than ourselves." "That's exactly what makes you so remarkable," Elder Flow said. "A species with your abilities could dominate the galaxy. You could reshape worlds to suit your needs, force other species to adapt to your presence. But instead, you come seeking friendship." "Because that's who we are," Marcus replied. "We're not conquerors. We're explorers. We're not destroyers. We're builders. Yes, we're made of water, but we're also made of curiosity, hope, and the desire to understand." The theater was quiet as the aliens processed this. Marcus could see the debate playing out in their various forms. The fear was still there, but it was being balanced by something else. Wonder, perhaps. Or hope. "There is something else we must discuss," Elder Flow said finally. "Your demonstration has revealed more than your physical nature. It has shown us that cooperation with the fundamental forces of the universe is possible. That what we have always feared might actually be the key to new forms of existence? Marcus felt a shift in the room's atmosphere. The fear was still there, but it was being replaced by something else, possibility. The aliens were beginning to see humans not just as beings who could survive water, but as teachers who might show them a new way to exist. The question now was whether the galaxy was ready to learn. Marcus sat on the edge of the pool, very aware that every eye in the theater was watching him. The question hung in the air like a challenge. Were humans here to live peacefully with others, or were they here to take over? We came here for the same reason you did, he said finally, his voice carrying clearly through the water. To meet our neighbors, to learn, to find our place among the stars. But your place is already decided, Elder Flo replied. You are the masters of the universal destroyer. By definition, that makes you the most dangerous species in known space. Marcus stayed in the water but moved closer to the pool's edge. Dangerous, we're not warriors. We're explorers, scientists, people who want to make friends. The fact that we can swim doesn't make us conquerors, doesn't it? The voice belonged to a new speaker, a being that looked like crystallized gas. Your species has survived and thrived in conditions that would kill the rest of us instantly. What happens when you decide our worlds are too dry for your comfort? We're not looking to change your worlds, Marcus said. We're looking to understand. Understanding is the first step toward taking over, the gas being continued. A species that can walk unharmed through the death liquid, that is the death liquid. What barriers exist for you? What environments are truly hostile to your kind? Marcus was about to respond when conductor Melody's musical voice cut through. The tension. Perhaps we're looking at this wrong. The theater fell silent as the metallic being continued. We've been thinking of the humans as masters of water, but what if there's something else? What if they're the bridge we've been waiting for? Bridge? Speaker Dark asked. Think about it, Conductor Melody explained. Every species here has evolved to avoid the universal destroyer. We build walls, develop resistances, create protective technologies. But what if instead of fighting water, we could learn to work with it? Elder Flo shifted, their form cycling through different states of matter. You're suggesting cooperation with the Water Walkers? I'm suggesting they might be the key to unlocking environments we've never been able to explore. Conductor Melody replied, Ocean worlds, ice planets, systems where water is abundant. With human partnership, we could access resources and territories that have been forever beyond our reach. Marcus felt a change in the theater's atmosphere. The fear was still there, but it was being mixed with something else. Hope. There's another factor to consider, announced a new voice. The speaker was a being of living crystal, similar to the Altarians but more complex. I am Pattern Prime of the Crystal Collective. We have observed your species' transmissions, studied your history. And what did you find? Marcus asked. Cooperation, Pattern Prime replied. Your species' main trait is not conquest but working together. You help each other, share resources, protect weaker members. Even your relationship with water shows this. You don't dominate it, you work with it. The observation started a new round of discussion among the alien delegates. Marcus caught pieces of conversation. Cooperative species, partnership relationship, potential allies. But the risk remains, insisted the gas being. A species that can survive anywhere, that has mastered the universal destroyer ... could be the greatest allies we've ever had, Elder Flo interrupted. Child of Water, your demonstration has revealed more than your physical abilities. It has shown us that cooperation with the fundamental forces of the universe is possible. Marcus pulled himself up to sit on the pool's edge, water still dripping from his clothes. What are you suggesting? An alliance, Conductor Melody announced. Not just diplomatic relations, but a true partnership. Your species brings abilities. We lack the ability to work in water-rich environments, to explore ocean worlds, to harvest resources from water-based systems. And in return, Marcus asked? Access to the galaxy, Elder Flo replied. Technologies, knowledge, trade routes. Most importantly, acceptance. Your species will not be seen as conquerors but as essential partners in galactic civilization. The theater buzzed with activity as the various delegations talked among themselves. Marcus could see the debate playing out in the shifting colors of the Alterians, the frequency changes of the energy beings, the geometric patterns of the crystal entities. "There is one condition," announced a voice from the shadows. It was Speaker. Dark, their form barely visible against the darkness. "You must teach us." "Teach you what?" "How to coexist with water. How to work with the universal destroyer instead of running from it. If we are to be allies, we must understand each other's fundamental nature." Marcus looked around the theater, seeing nods of agreement from the various delegations. "You want to learn to swim?" "We want to learn to live," Elder Flo corrected. "Your species has found a way to thrive in the presence of the galaxy's most feared substance. That knowledge could change how we approach exploration, resource gathering, even basic survival." The possibilities were amazing. Humanity wouldn't just be joining the galactic community. They would be teaching it. Their simple biological compatibility with water would become the foundation for a new era of cooperation and exploration. "I'll need to talk to my government," Marcus said, though he suspected he knew what their answer would be. "Of course," Keth agreed, "but know this. The Galactic Council is prepared to offer humanity full membership and partnership rights. The Water Walkers of Earth have proven themselves worthy of our respect and our alliance." "What would this partnership look like?" Marcus asked. "Joint exploration missions to water-rich worlds," Pattern Prime explained. "Shared research into water-based technologies. Human advisors helping other species adapt to water-present environments. In exchange, we offer our knowledge of space travel, energy systems, and technologies that could benefit your people." "And protection," Elder Flo added. "There are species in the galaxy that might see your abilities as a threat. As part of our alliance, you would have the protection of the entire Galactic Council." Marcus felt the weight of the moment. Humanity had come to the stars looking for their place in the universe, only to discover that their place was unlike anything they had imagined. "There's something else," Conductor Melody said. "Your demonstration today has been broadcast throughout the galaxy. By now, every civilized species knows about the Water Walkers of Earth. You cannot go back to being unknown." "What does that mean?" Marcus asked. "It means the galaxy is watching.